Pearl. Let's talk about Pearl. Okay. So the movie starts off with this whimsical, magical soundtrack, and the screen is drenched with all these warm, uh, vibrant, and humid sort of colors. This bloody orange, this very deep, hot red, and then it goes from that sunset down to these deep blue ocean or pond, I should say. Now, it introduces us to the main character, Pearl. And Pearl is a young lady who's grown up in the early 1900s. And right away, you start to see that she has these very carnal desires that's inside of her. And she goes back to her home where her mother and father is. Her father is paralyzed. He's sort of inept, and her mother is extremely traditional and very conservative. And that is where you have the premise of the film. You have a daughter who has these very carnal desires, and you have this repressive, traditional, conservative mother who's trying to force her values on the daughter. And Pearl, she wants to live up to that standard. It's just that she has these very hedonistic and carnal thoughts, and she's trying to reconcile that. And this ends up driving her into madness. And this is the foundation of the film, and this is where it fails for me, because the whole premise of it, the way it's displayed in the household, is so over the top and hyperbolic, and a caricature of what it's like to grow up in a religious household to the point to where it falls apart. It's as though the people who made this film just started off with that premise, but didn't really try to make it very believable, and didn't try to flesh out Pearl's character. They just wanted to show a woman being burdened down by traditional values, and this driving her to madness. And so the film goes through this. It drives her to madness. She ends up committing acts of murder that I didn't question, because I'm still not convinced of the premise. She ends up committing more murder, which I still am skeptical of, because the premise of it is unconvincing to me. And then she ends up delivering a very dramatic and over the top monologue near the end, which was well acted, by the way. It was well acted by Mia Goth. It's just, I just wasn't convinced. Then the film ends. At the end of the day, people like this film because it's very different. It's very different. It looks beautiful, but it's very different and unconvincing to me. And that's ultimately why I say it was okay. It was okay. And those are my thoughts.